This is Sharon Vornholt with Innovative Property Solutions in the Louisville Gauss Real Estate blog, and I am really happy to have Terry Sprouse with me today for my next interview in the Escaping the 9 to 5 series, How I Did It. Terry lives in Tucson, Arizona with his wife and his 2 sons. Now, he is not only a buy and hold real estate investor, but he owns a publishing company called Planet of Books, and he is the author of 2 books. His first book is called Fix 'Em Up, Rent 'Em Out, and I think that title tells you exactly what the book is about. It's about how to start your own business, fixing up and, having a rental business in your spare time. Terry wrote this book, I believe, in 2007. Now, his second book is called Carve Out Your Niche, and this is a great book, which I have, and I actually refer to this book from time to time. It tells you how to live your passion and how to write your story, your book that he says that you have inside of you. Terry is was a Peace Corps volunteer for 3 years in Honduras, and he has 2 blogs about the same titles as his books, Fix 'Em Up and Rent 'Em Out and Carve Out Your Niche. Well, welcome, Terry.
Thank you, Sharon. Pleasure to be with you.
Well, it's so interesting to me. Tell me a little bit, when you volunteered for the Peace Corps in Honduras, that was before you went to work, or was that not before you went to work?
Yes, that was before I went to work. It's something I had in my mind for a long time, and I was curious to see how people in other countries lived, and how they existed, and see if I could help out a bit down there, and it was a wonderful experience for me. I worked as a teacher in southern Honduras, and also startup projects like chicken projects and piñata making projects, and whatever schools were interested in doing, I was interested in helping them to make money and to help provide food and books and things for their children, and it was a wonderful experience.
Well, I think that's a great thing to have done. I'm sure you helped a lot of people, and I'm sure it's helped you a lot in business too. You obviously very resourceful. So then after the Peace Corps, that's when you came back and you went to work for the state. Is that how that worked out?
Yes, I got a job with the state of Arizona, with the Arizona Department of Water Resources. And after that, working there a few years on the border with Mexico, I got a job with the University of Arizona, where I worked for about 10 years.
Okay. Now, was it during that time you started investing in real estate?
Yes, it was. Some years before that, maybe 10 or 15 years, I'd read a real estate book, and was sort of inspired to look into it, but I never really jumped in and did it. I never was really clear on how to go about investing in real estate or buying houses or anything really. So it was just in the back of my mind. But a big change came when the World Trade Center was attacked in September 11, 2001. It turns out that my job was based on grant money from the federal government to do kind of environmental research, and a lot of that money was diverted to the war effort following the attacks on the World Trade Center. Mm-hmm. So my salary at that point was cut in half. Wow. And I remember one night, being depressed and going home and telling my wife, things aren't looking too good. And we discussed a lot of options. We wanted to try to establish a little more security in our lives and have a safety cushion, in case this type of thing were to happen again. And I remember the book that I'd read on real estate, and so we wound up buying a fix-upper house that had been repossessed by a bank. And that got us started in the business. We started doing it part-time. I kept working at the university, and my wife was working too. But in our spare times, weekends and nights, we go over and fix up our houses. And our motto was, we worked like dogs, we ate like hogs, and we slept like logs. But we got through it, and had our kids involved too, and it was kind of fun. All like one big happy family working together. Mm-hmm. Exhausted family at times, but still together.
So I guess that answers my next question. You didn't have a formal exit plan. You found out that day that your pay was going to be cut, and you very quickly then had to get a plan.
Yes, in the back of my mind, I had nothing firm, but just, I knew at some point I wanted to try to find something on my own and establish more of an independent life. But then once I started doing the fixer-uppers in the evenings and weekends, I started developing more of a plan, thinking that once I got enough rental houses to just cover my salary, I'd eventually just segue right out of the job and go into doing the real estate full time.
Full time. So,
but
how
another
long
thing
was it
occurred.
before? I'm sorry.
Oh well, then just to complete the story, in 2010, there were a lot of job cutbacks in my office and at the university, and so I could see the writing on the wall, and I thought it was a good time to put my dreams and plans into action. So I retired at that time and then jumped full time into real estate and book publishing.
So you kept your job for a while. You kept your job for some years then while you did real estate. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah, I kept working and doing both things at the same time.
Boy,
it worked out okay,
Yeah, I bet you were tired.
Yeah, there were times we were.
So did you know right from the beginning, you seem to have known that you were going to do kind of a fix-up and buy and hold business. Was that always your business model?
No, initially I thought it made sense to me to do a buy and flip. That was our first plan on the house.
Okay.
And we finished fixing it up, and then we got a woman who was interested in purchasing the house. She had some kids, but she couldn't afford it right then. She said, give me 3 more months and I'll buy it from you. Mm-hmm. Well, we waited 3 months and she couldn't come up with the cash, so we wound up turning up into a rental property. Mm-hmm. And the more I thought about it, I thought I researched it too. I thought the long-term gains would be more beneficial than flipping them. We just change our plan and hold on to them instead of flipping. And so that became our policy. And we had kind of 2 strategies that developed also. One was just traditionally, refinancing our home we lived in, and then using that money to down payment to buy a rental property and fix it up and rent it out was one technique we used. But another technique that started appealing to us too is we buy the rental house and then live in the rental house and fix it up while we were living there to kind of take the pressure off of us from having it fixed up really fast and get the payments covered with the tenants. So those are two tracks we've taken.
Okay, so but what made you able to do that then was the fact that you did have some income, as opposed to if you had just quit your job full out, and then you'd have to have money to live on in addition to grow your business. Exactly.
Yeah, that kept us with enough money to keep things rolling, and also to get loans. It's hard to get a loan unless you have that's a reliable source of income. So that in both cases, that helped us a lot. And so that's what we pursued.
Okay. So you were using some of your own money then? Did you refinance as you got them done? You refinanced the houses and just started all over? Is that how you did it?
Yep, that's exactly what we did. Either refinanced our residence or rental houses, and it was working out pretty good there until the recession hit. As money got a little tighter.
Yeah.
My father used to tell me, as you walk through the cow pasture of life, you're bound to step into the truth once in a while. And the truth is, you got to be flexible. And like we were talking before this interview, that things crop up that you don't anticipate, and you just have to kind of just keep plowing ahead and fall forward and try to stick with the plan.
Mm-hmm. That is the one trait that seems to separate everyone that's been doing this for a while. They've all had hard times, but they all just keep on keeping on, no matter what. Failure just isn't an option for these people. They just get it set in their mind, and that's what they determine. So then, you wrote your first book then around 2007. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. Exactly right. I wrote the first book then. First I started keeping notes kind of for myself to keep track of what I was doing and to remind myself of, how I did certain things. Then I thought, well, it'd be kind of fun to publish it and share it with others, maybe to help them avoid some of the pitfalls that I fell into and kind of learned shortcuts and how to do it the most efficient way.
Well,
and it became pretty popular. It was more popular than I thought it was going to be. I thought maybe I'd sell a handful of books and that'd be it. But I guess it kind of appealed to a lot of people, so it's been selling pretty good.
Well, there's a wealth of people out there that would like to start this type of business, but they really just don't know where to start. So your book is excellent for that. And let's face it, we've all had our share of mistakes or things we wish we'd done differently, but wouldn't it be nice to just not have had those lessons, have somebody say, no, you don't want to do that. So a book like yours is a great resource. Now, so you wrote that book, and you're obviously helping a lot of people. You're blogging. Your first blog kind of went along. I guess it's got the same name as your book, so they're kind of a hand-in-hand thing. So you took an unusual step, though, when you did your next book. You set up a publishing company. How in the world did you come up with that idea?
Well, I actually set it up for my first book.
Oh, okay.
I thought when I wrote the book, I looked at different options, and frankly, it took me a long time to publish that book because I wasn't sure how to do it exactly. I was kind of feeling my way along, and I finally thought that the way to keep the most profits for myself and to most efficiently do it, because book publishing companies, they sort of have requirements and guidelines, and they don't look for people like me, perhaps, that publish a smaller book about a little niche thing. They have bigger fish to fry, like publishing books by Justin Bieber, who 16-year-old who has a wealth of experience to share. Just kidding. But, they often won't even look at people like us. So self-publishing is the way to go for a lot of people, because it's a path that's easy to take, and with Amazon and all these online bookstores, it sort of evens the playing field, and we can compete with the bigger sellers. So it wasn't that difficult to do looking back, but just the way to kind of feel my way through in the dark the first time through.
Well, I think it's a great idea, and I of course read your second book too, and it is just a wealth of information. I mean, who knew there was that much stuff to know about Amazon? I was telling somebody about it just the other day. There's just a lot of stuff you need to know to be able to be successful at that. So, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, yes, that many people just skim the surface on Amazon, but there's a lot of ways to really get in deeper, and it's like I like to say, you form a spider web with your page on Amazon, attract people to your site, and then you use all these free techniques that Amazon offers to promote your book.
Mm-hmm. I had no idea for sure. So your business today, is it? It's still pretty much you're buying you're adding rentals. Now, do you look for those deals yourself, or do you have someone that looks for deals for you? What's your model today? You're not swinging a hammer today, are you?
Not as much, although we still swing the hammer once in a while, my wife and I and kids. Our original plan was to do everything ourselves. We wanted to learn to do everything ourselves. So we would buy the houses, we'd repair them, and I started taking classes at a junior college to learn how to, do electrical work and plumbing and that type of thing, because I wanted to be self-sufficient. And we would manage the tenants, and we'd do the whole 9 yards. But now, of course, as you say, we've backed off a little bit in areas my wife used. I used to lay even tile on floors so I do the flooring, and now our knees are a little bit creakier, we can't quite do the up and down stuff so much. So we do hire other people to do that, and we hire people to do repairs, when tenants call and that kind of thing. So we've backed off some, but usually we find our own properties and still manage to fence ourselves. One new thing we are doing that I just recently started doing is that I'm starting to purchase houses through a self-directed IRA, which I deposited some money from my retirement into the IRA, and now we can purchase houses through the IRA and not pay taxes on them until we sell them. So it's looks like a good way to go. I'm just getting started, but it's an interesting approach to take.
Yeah, that is something that anyone in real estate investing needs to investigate. There are rules about how much you can contribute to IRAs, but when it comes to a self-directed IRA, there's no limit on the amount of profit you can earn tax-free, and that is a major, huge bonus people need to get. It's just,
exactly.
I know some people that are very well known in the real estate field that have grown their IRAs to millions of dollars using just this technique.
It's just incredible. I had no idea that, you can just leave your properties in there and you don't pay any taxes on them. Just use that money over and over again until you're ready to take it out. You don't pay taxes. You just build it into an empire.
Yeah, that would be
I agree with you.
Whole seminar in itself because
yes, it would.
There are rules, but it's really actually pretty simple. If you know those rules, it's not really that difficult to do. Now
right, just comply.
Yeah, your sons have worked with you. Now, how old are they now?
Well, one is 17 and one is 14, so they're actually getting to the age where they can actually help us a little bit. We still, when the tenants move out of the property, we go in ourselves and put them back in shape for the next tenants, and we can put these guys to work painting and without worrying that they're going to paint the floor and the ceiling and everything else. They can be trusted to do some tasks like that. And so yeah, it's great to have them. We pay them, slave wages, and they're happy with it.
Do they have an interest in the business?
Not so much right now. They have an interest just in making money. So they can buy their video games, or they don't call them, they call them games, Xbox stuff. But perhaps some, I have imagined, my youngest in particular has really become adept at building things, and like building playhouses and potato cannons and all kinds of engineering types things. So I have a feeling that we've influenced him a little bit with this fix-up house business.
This is a conversation that I've been having with all of my friends. We all, I don't think we necessarily want the children to go into the same business, although that would be nice if that's what they wanted. But we all want them to know that you have this whole entrepreneurship thing available to them, that if you have a job, it's a choice, but it could also be optional if you want to have a business. And I think I was talking to someone just this morning about everybody drags their kids along on their business and hopes something sticks as far as the entrepreneur part of it. Do you have any advice for people, that are kind of sitting back on the fence? They want to leave their job. They want to be an entrepreneur. They want to be a real estate investor, buying, fix up houses just like you do. Do you have any advice for them that could maybe make it a little bit easier for them?
Well, I really believe that if you're in a job that you don't like, or you have aspirations to do something else, then I think life is trying to teach you something. You should listen to that small voice inside you and follow it. It's how many opportunities do we have to make a change, to really pursue our dreams? In my case, and like many people, we're kind of forced into it, but we moved that direction. We took the opportunity to follow our dreams, and I think it's a golden opportunity when something like that occurs to pursue your dreams. And I think we have a moral obligation to learn to do these things and then share our knowledge with others, like you're doing here with these videos, interviewing people who've experienced it and then sharing their knowledge. And I think that's incredibly valuable, and that's why I encourage people to write books and share their knowledge that way also. But once you have that knowledge, you enrich other people's lives as well, in addition to your own. So my suggestion is to follow your dream.
I think that's a great idea. Somebody was asking me about real estate strategies, And I was telling them that it's been my experience that you will try a few things and then one will just kind of choose you. You will just know that it's the right one for you because you'll be miserable doing the other one. So I think it kind of chooses you in the end. But you've certainly given me some ideas on maybe some courage to consider, something along the lines of a book, which we'll be talking about further down the road. But you've done a great job of teaching people, Terry, and I thank you so much for coming on here today. It's been my hope that people will watch these interviews and that they will know that, no, it's not been an easy path for just about anybody, but it's just so worth it in the end. It's just a phenomenal way to live your life, to be your own boss.
So true. I couldn't agree more, and thank you, Sharon, for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you, Terry, and maybe we'll do this again in the future because I'm sure people would like to hear a little bit about your book publishing business, too. So thank you once again,
okay.
And we'll be back soon with another interview from Escaping the 9 to 5, How I Did It, and this is Sharon Vornholt with Louisville Gals Real Estate Blog. Thanks for stopping by.